Howdy, I'm WolfX2, and this video is about mental health, part of my life series. Mental health has been a very important topic for me in the past 5 years or so. I talk openly about my mental health struggles and what I've done in order to battle through them as a way to try and help others who may be going through something similar. I used to not bring up this topic around others for fear of being judged, but now I'm okay with being judged by some if it means that I'm able to help others. Please enjoy this video and stick around to the end. Thanks for watching. My mental health has been a struggle for me all throughout my life. I tried to take it on without help for a very long time, relying on friends in extreme times of need. I was taking marijuana and drinking near every day in large amounts to cope with it all. It was really driving me into a deeper hole. I was having multiple panic attacks a week and always feeling depressed, and it was becoming harder to show up to work and take on normal daily tasks. I was calling out and trudging through every day, and people were starting to notice. This is when I knew I needed to get help or I wouldn't be able to survive. I went on a trip with my family to the beach that last year and opened up to some of my family about what I was experiencing and how I was pretty much always living in fear. They had told me that that wasn't a normal way to be and that I should seek help to work on these feelings. They explained to me how going to a doctor or therapist for these things was normal and not something to be ashamed of, but I wasn't truly convinced. Help. We use it in video games all the time. Have you ever tried to complete a RuneScape quest without a quest guide or rune light? I can't tell you the number of times I've had to look up how to do something on YouTube. I remember when I got Minecraft, I had to look up how to cut down a tree. Who hasn't passed the controller to someone else in frustration and begged them to help you through an unbeatable part of a video game? But when it comes to our mental health, we can often find it difficult to ask others for help. Whether that be from friends, family, or a medical professional, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's a stigma tied to mental health issues that can be hard to get past. People on my school bus growing up would talk about the people in the mental facility we would ride by in my hometown as if they were crazy. They would act like something was wrong with the people I knew who were struggling or on medication to help with their mood or some other problems. They would always make fun of the people with mental health issues in high school behind their back. This made it hard for me to come to terms with the fact that there may be something wrong with me. Was I going to be labeled as crazy, looked down upon, or made fun of by others? It all changed when I left work early one day due to a panic attack and went to my grandmother for help. I went to her with the biggest thing that was affecting me at the time, which was my sexuality. I had been confused about who I was inside for over a year now. I confessed to my conservative grandmother how I was having feelings that I was trans and how confused and ashamed I was. She consoled me and told me there was nothing wrong with what I was feeling and that she would support me in any way possible. She had me call a therapist and set up an appointment before leaving her house that day, and I think it saved my life. I started with an online psychiatrist who put me on a medication for depression and kept raising the dosage until I felt like a zombie with no control over my life. I was truly just making the motions with no way to feel anything, good or bad. I knew I couldn't continue like this, so I decided to cut the dosage in half, which caused me to go through withdrawals and feel worse than I ever felt before. This was all worth it though, as I was able to feel like a real human again. I switched psychiatrists and was diagnosed with severe depression and general anxiety disorder, which finally put a name to what I was feeling. While the original over-the-phone psychiatrist seemed as though they were just giving me medication and not listening to what I had to say, this one listened and gave suggestions on what we could do next. Finding what works for you can take a long time, and there isn't much you can do other than trial and error. One medication may work to cover some symptoms, while others work to take care of others. I would find that one medication or another wasn't working well for me, so we would raise or lower the dosage over time, or change the medication altogether. This also applies to the psychiatrist. Don't give up just because the one you chose first didn't work out for you. Maybe they just aren't the right doctor for you. There's nothing wrong with going to another doctor for a second opinion rather than giving up on the first try. I also started going to a therapist. This was a very hard thing for me to do, as trusting someone with all of myself was scary. How am I supposed to trust this stranger with everything that's in my head? Why does their opinion matter? What if they're just saying whatever they think I want to hear just to collect a paycheck? This was a rough thing for me to handle, and time and honesty was what helped the most to build this relationship. While the medications helped me to ease the anxiety and depression I was feeling, therapy allowed me to get to the root cause of these issues. I started out having extreme social anxiety to where I wasn't able to leave the house on my own. I would get so nervous even thinking of going to the grocery store that I would have a panic attack in the parking lot before leaving my car. I believed that everyone was judging me for every action I took. Even the simplest action of walking from one end of a restaurant to another would cause my entire body to shake and me to lock up. Also, as I mentioned before, I was unsure in my own sexuality. I didn't know who I was or how to handle the dysphoria I was feeling. I would look into the mirror and see a person that wasn't who I was in my head. The feeling was so strange and soul-crushing. It has taken years of work, but I finally feel comfortable in my own skin and better understand who I am. This is where finding the right therapist for you comes in. I needed a therapist that was first not going to push religious ideations on me, and second would understand my queer feelings. I lucked out on this one, but like how I switched psychiatrists when I wasn't feeling that they were the one for me, it's okay to move on to another therapist if you don't feel you're getting the care you need. Please do not give up on therapy just because the first person you try doesn't work for you. Move on to another until you find the person who you know is right. It also isn't always a doctor or another person who is needed to get you out of your funk. In my case, my dog was what helped me to be able to go out in public without someone else. She would help me to feel safe in public, break me out of panic attacks with a gentle nudge, and simply be there anytime I needed her without judgment. Sometimes all it takes is knowing that you aren't alone. Whether it be a pet or another person, company of others has always helped me to feel better. I love my dog more than anything in this world, and I'm glad that she was there for me in the exact moment I needed her most. Now, 4 years later, I'm able to do things I thought were impossible. I'm able to feel comfortable in my own skin, go to live music shows on my own, and be in romantic relationships. I'm so thankful to my therapist and psychiatrist for working with me to break these barriers, and for my grandmother for convincing me to go in the first place. These processes take years of work and plenty of trial and error. You don't expect to go to the gym one time and walk out 20 pounds down, so don't expect to solve all your mental problems in a short amount of time. I finally feel like I'm in a good place with my medication and therapy, but it is still expensive for me to maintain every month. I'm lucky enough to have insurance to lower the cost of these medications and doctor visits, but it can still be a financial strain to keep up with. Many others are not as financially stable as me for one reason or another and cannot afford the medications or doctors they need in order to improve their mental health. I believe this to be an issue that should be taken more seriously by the government, and that subsidies should be in place for mental health support organizations. I'd like to make a request to those viewers of this video that are financially able to make a donation to one of the mental health organizations I have listed in the below bio and pinned comments. Every donation, no matter how small, can make a difference in someone's life. Thank you for making it this far into the video. Take a moment out of your day and check on your friends. Let them know you care, even if it's as little as a thank you. Try to do one good thing for someone each day, whether that be holding the door for someone or just saying hello and complimenting them. These small actions go a long way to making people feel better. You never know what they may be going through. Please consider subscribing as I plan to release more videos in this life series soon. You never know which ones might interest you. Until next time.